Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker down here at Motorcycle Park in the mighty metropolis of Marne, Iowa, and look what I have today. This is a bike we've all seen before. It's the Royal Enfield Himalayan 452. Check that hot rod out. I've actually done a video on this bike before. The owner has done some changes to it, and he's got more changes on the way, but just check this out and see if you can spot some of the stuff. So what is the bike? Well, it's the Royal Enfield's ADV bike. It's a 452cc, single cylinder, liquid cooled, dual overhead cam, 4-valve engine, puts out about 40 horsepower, about 30 foot-pounds of torque. That's about 42 newton meters. All that power runs through a 6-speed transmission, a beautiful 6-speed transmission. It's a very interesting transmission in that I've had this bike. I have one just like this of my own. I've had it in the VDRs in Colorado. I've had it on the interstate. I've had it, 2-lane blacktops. I've had it everywhere, and the transmission always works really well. So, it's a bike that kind of does everything really well. Just a real beautiful machine in that sense. Next thing would be the suspension. It's got this really nifty 21-inch front tire, 90/90 21-inch front tire, held in place by these 43 millimeter tubes. Upside down forks. So it has about 8 inches of travel. That's about, I think it's 200 millimeters of travel in the front. And because they're upside down, the large part of the structure it's very rigid, because it's all on the top. And then that's also, everything below here is lighter, so this can move more freely. And that makes the bike handle, it feels very light handling. Jumping over to the other side, it's got a 320 millimeter disc and dual piston bi-brake caliper. I think he told me he's got a set of tubeless tires ordered for this. This is the Kaza brown bike. Running over to the rear, it's got a monoshock, a Showa monoshock, and the front suspension is Showa also, by the way, with about 8 inches of travel. Again, that's about 200 millimeters. Check that out. And I love the way that looks. It just looks number one, right? I love the stubby muffler and the whole bit. It's got a 270 millimeter disc on the back, single piston bi-brake caliper, chain drive, of course. That is a stock Seat tire. That is a 140/80/17, says so right there. He and I were in Colorado. We rode these bikes through rivers. We did the BDR trails. We've had them on the top of, I think when I was out there with my Himalayan the first time, we did 12 mountain passes. And most of them, 11 or 12,000 feet. So these bikes are incredibly capable. Very, very good, in that sense. There's about 9 inches of ground clearance. That's 220 millimeters. Seat height is 33¼ inches in high. That's 845 millimeters. And you can drop it down to about 32.5. That would be 822 millimeters. Fuel tank, 17 liters, about 4.5 gallons. And the whole bike weighs about 430 pounds, which I believe is 195 kilograms. That's with the full, that's wet, curb weight, full of fuel. Very nice machine. Wheelbase is 59.4 inches, 1,510 millimeters. Well, that's all the numbers. And I'll tell you right now, it's just a fun machine. It's just loads of, it's just to kind of do everything. It's the SUM bike, the single universal motorcycle. I have one of these. I did a 1,000-mile day ride on mine. Same bike, it did it just fine. I did it all interstate that time. I've ridden mine out to Colorado a couple times. I've done BDRs out there. We ran miles and miles of dirt. It just climb mountains with it, rock roads. These bikes will just do everything. It's just really amazing what they will do. So what else has he done to this bike? He's done a bunch of things. First note is this WRS windshield. We put that on yesterday morning, and then I put one on my bike in the afternoon. I put the tall one on in clear. When we ride this, we're going to take this for a spin. We'll talk about how it does the wind. It does it very well. I like it a lot. He's got these bark busters that he just put on this morning. He's got these grip puppies right here. Very comfortable to hold on to. He does that on all his bikes. He's got, this is really neat. He put these pivot pegs on there. Now there's different numbers to pivot pegs. And I don't know what they all name, but I think these are number 4s. So if you all know what that is, let me know if I'm wrong. But so these pegs will pivot backwards, forwards, so when you're standing on it, and he stands a lot when he's out in the dirt. So very good ad, very good ad. He's got the knee pads right here. Nifty things. All this stuff came from Baxter Cycle, by the way. Did this just for fun. He's going to do something different, but that was just a thing they did for fun this morning. Running over here to this side, he's got the Garmin. Isn't that neat? That is the XT, I think. Added this bag. There's a charge port down below here that you can use to charge things that are in the bag. he's got other things that he's going to do. I think we talked about it already. He's going to put the tubeless tires on. He got a CAD delete ordered, and then he wants the Rally crash bar kit, engine guard kit, and that's a kit where the bars are in close and there's a metal skid plate. And he, I think it's metal. And that's what he wants. That's all Royal Enfield product too. So with that being said, I think I'm going to gear up and we're going to go for a ride. Let's see how this thing does. Wahoo. Well, it looks like he has about 3,000 miles on this thing already. First gear. While we're here, let's look at this. So it's got this, I call it the big Oculus. It's about 5 inches across. It's a TFT. He's got the tachometer on the outside, fuel gauge right here, gear indicator, miles per hour, clock, temperature, outside air temperature, and the trip meter down below, odometer right here. The trip meter is trip 1, trip 2, fuel range, fuel consumption, voltage, it's got a voltmeter, when the next service is due, and engine temperature. So it's got it all right there on the dash. You just have to thumb through to get to it. Very good sounding motorcycle. This is the windshield we put on, so it's a little taller than the stock one. It's quite a bit wider. I rode it yesterday and it did really well in the wind, and we'll check that out today. Maybe we'll start with that. All right, let's hit the road. Let's go out and check the windshield out first. How's that sound? It's entirely familiar, but yet different. You know, I have a bike just like this. Look at how easy it picks up speed here. We're in the middle of harvest season. On the right, the corn has been harvested. On the left, it's still in the field. They just haven't gotten to it yet. Everybody in Iowa is suffering from allergies right now, so all the dust in the air. On the right over here is a bean field that has absolutely been flattened. All the beans have been harvested. As far as the windshield goes, a very good air pocket. Hits me right about the bottom of my windscreen on my visor on my helmet. A little wider, blows over my shoulders, so my shoulders are just about out of the wind with this one. I like it a lot. He got the tinted one, I've got the clear one on mine. What a good handling bike. One thing I got to say about these two, and I should have just said it when I was talking about the engine, is the clutch on these things is just fabulous. When I got the bike, one of the first things that I noticed was how far the throw was on the clutch lever. Very, one of the longest throws I've ever seen on a motorcycle. And what I've learned since then, in 12,600 miles, is that it's got an incredibly good feeling clutch with an awesome friction zone. It's incredibly wide, very predictable, very easy to use, and just what you would need on a bike like an ADV where you're going to be out in the middle of nowhere, you know, on the dirt roads or going through the rocks or crossing rivers like Mark and I did together. I feel very at home on this motorcycle. I don't have the bark busters on mine. I'm waiting for the Enfield brand ones to come out, but I can tell the difference on my hands. It does make a difference. Very good handling bike. The Seat tires that come on these things are fabulous. I have put a Dunlop Trail Mix Mission on the back of mine. It's a harder tire and will last longer, but I don't think it has quite as much feel as the Seat does. If you're ever in the market for a new or used Royal Enfield, Triumph, classic British bike of any type, get yourself over here to Baxter Cycle in the mighty mini-tropolis of Marnie. Make sure you tell those fine folks that Fuzzy Biker sent you. They ship motorcycles, by the way. Anyway, I love riding these bikes. These are, you know, there are no, you know, all roads or no roads. I think that's one of the advertisings or something like that, you know. Go on all roads, go on all roads, or go on no roads. But look at this, you know. Look at how well this handles, you know, just crawl right along. The clutch works fabulously. You know, there's such a long throw in the clutch, and it's so predictable, and so much the friction zone is so wide, and it's just a very good thing. I like it a lot. It really picks up speed well, doesn't it? Welcome to fabulous South Marnie. A little bit of gravel on the road right there. I think I mention that every time, don't I? Excellent torque, absolutely excellent torque. So the engine, 452cc, single cylinder, you think there'd be a lot of vibration. And what I've learned is when you get the bike and it's new, less than 1,000, 1,500 miles, there is a bit of vibration, but it kind of goes away as the bike wears in. And he's also got these large grip puppies on his. And like I said, he put those on all his bikes. but it just really smooths itself right out. And the bike engine itself, I think it has a counter spinning shaft, you know, one of those balancer shafts. This is called the bridge test. I just like riding around in circles, right? I'm interested to see this with a cat delete pipe. Those are not in yet, but as soon as one comes in, he's going to put one in on this bike. Let's do the old hill spin test here. Da, da, da. Look at that, huh? I love it, I love it. Next time you're all in the mighty mini metropolis of Marnie, Iowa, make sure you stop right here at the Derailed Grill, that fabulous building right there. Order yourself up a Wahoo burger. I love riding these things. I don't know if y'all have caught on to that, right? I think he's going to add a DNA filter too. I think that's at his first service he's going to do a second service when they do the valve job check. The bike, to sit on the bike, it's very upright sitting with a slight lean forward. I feel like my knees are below my hips just slightly. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. It feels like it's tight between the knees and the foot pegs, but yet when I took this on my bike on a 1,000-mile ride, I did not have leg problems. You know, I just got back from Colorado a couple days ago. I think we did 680 some miles in one day. It wasn't a problem, and I don't understand that because it does feel tight. Now the pegs are up high because it is an ADV bike and it is meant to go out in the wild. And also it's they're in the spot where you need them if you want to stand up on the bike. You know, if you're going to stand up like this. Oh wow, those pivot, very interesting. Those pivot pegs are a very nice add. Let me try that again when we get through this curve. Oh wow, I guess I've never used pivot pegs before. If I have, I'd forgotten about it. But anyway, so they're in the spot that's best for standing. I gotta calm down here. I can't tear up their freshly laid pea gravel, by golly. Anyway, as far as how does the bike handle, the motorcycle is it's not top heavy. It's got a very low center of gravity, even lower than the old 411 Himalayan. I know I'm the only guy on the internet saying that, but I have a 411 Himalayan, or I had one, and I rode it 31,000 miles. I also rode it 1,000 miles the week that I picked up my 452 Himalayan, and one of the things I noticed right away was that this felt like it had a lower center of gravity. So it's got a very low center of gravity, so it's easy to push around the garage. You know, it doesn't weigh too much. It's a lot easier than any other ADV bike I've ever had to push around. I'll throw that in right away. It handles well in the driveway. It handles well, you know, you get on the bike, drive slow, you know, like we've been doing here. You know, it just doesn't have a problem with it at all. You've seen all the little spin arounds I've done. You get out on, you know, like in town, you know, little city riding. It's awesome in the city. It just does that so well. And then you get out on 2-lane blacktops, fabulous. And then I've had mine on miles and miles and miles of interstate. And you know, the bike is not made for that, but it does it so well. It's got a very comfortable seat. So I would say handling, they've hit all the spots. And it goes back to that single universal motorcycle. The bike that'll go everywhere. You know, no roads, all roads, no roads. It does it. It just does it. One of the interesting phenomena that has happened since this bike has come out is people are bringing in their ADV, large ADV bikes, very nice, very beautiful, very capable ADVs. This has happened 4 times at Baxter Cycle already, and they're trading them off on Himalayans, and other dealers are having the same thing happen. And the question would be, why is that? And I think the reason, one of the reasons, one, it's a great bike. It's got plenty of power. It handles well. It's lightweight. You know, it's got all those things alone that would make it the right bike. You know, it's probably one of the better, if not the best, ADVs you can buy. And as far as when you get in the rough goes, this will do much better than a, you know, when we had to push our bikes through the river, we had knee-high water. You know, if we would have been pushing full-size ADVs, it would have been a lot more work and a lot more risk. You know, if we would have dropped a heavily electronic equipped ADV, there would have been a lot more repair and drop one of those in the water. So one of the features that this bike has, and this is what I'm getting at, is the fact that it cost this bike in stock form out the door at Baxter Cycle right there. $6,300, something like that. So that's, you know, you give them a check for that much, you can leave with the bike kind of thing. Call them to verify that. Now, when you get out into the wild, I rode a lot of bike, my 411 and my new one, with people that have big ADVs, and I have been places, people that won't ride because it might rain, they don't want to get their fancy bike wet, don't want to have to clean it, and I understand that. Those bikes are beautiful. They don't want to get them on dirt because same thing, you know, they don't want to get them dirty. I've had guys where we were out doing it, and then we decided to take a rough road, or go up a steep, you know, steep road, and you know, they just stop, say I'm not doing it, you know. So I wait, they wait there, and I go up and do the job, and I come back. So they're more capable because they cost less. There's less risk in doing those things, you know. It's not that this is not as nice a bike. It is as nice a bike. It's that this costs a third the price, or even a fourth of the price, you know. Some of those bikes are 25,000 or more, and this will do everything that those will do. Plus it weighs 100 pounds less, and I don't know how to express that anymore as a, you know, a really big feature of this motorcycle. Oh, that's road's plugged up right there. You know, it's something that I don't know how to sell the fact that it costs less as a excellent feature of this motorcycle. And it actually is, you know, it's right up there with all the other top features of this bike, and I think it's worth mentioning. It's not cheap, it's affordable, and it allows you to do riskier things, you know, go on. Anyway, hey, I'm a rambling man again, aren't I? Well, anyway, how about this? If y'all are interested in a motorcycle like this, a new or used Royal Enfield Triumph classic British bike of any type, need parts, accessories, Sigma jigs, doodads, gear, you know, Nervic jackets, Royal Enfield gear, any kind of gear, gloves, boots, socks, underwear, accessories, windshields like this, mark busters like these, anything at all, get yourself over here to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa, or go to baxtercycle.com. Make sure you tell those fine folks Fuzzy Biker sent you. They also ship motorcycles. If you would, please hit like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment about the video or the motorcycle. Now, it's a beautiful day out. It's a gorgeous day out. I think I'm going to park this hot rod and hop on that hot rod, my bike, and go for a motorcycle ride, my friends. Y'all do the same if you can. Life is good. Life is good. Get out there and live it. Wahoo! Yippee-yi-yay! Yippee-yi-yo! Down the road we go. Beautiful, beautiful machine.